boom, 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 boom. SUJOBAE podcast. Audio Jungle.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna start. No, we're gonna start, man. We're gonna start because it's episode 7 of the SUJOBAE podcast. Welcome back. Episode 6, you guys probably saw as a video. Sorry about the short one, but we're gonna make sure this one's long enough so that you get the full extent of content. I didn't post it, but we're about to, so it'll be there. My name is Joseph Kim.
My name is Matthew Bae.
And again, we don't have Suzie. She was busy. She's got some family in town. But we have 2 guests today, doubling up with Mark Zhang and Henry Wang. You guys want to introduce yourselves real quick?
My name is Mark. I graduated from Purdue last year, and I've been working in research for this past year. And
Becoming a doctor.
yeah, I'm getting ready to apply to medical school.
Nice.
My name is Henry. I'm a senior, and I'm doing computer engineering, and I'm about to graduate in like a few weeks.
All right.
So we're gonna quickly just kind of get you guys to know our guests today. So we know them pretty well because we obviously went to school with them. Mark is obviously a year older than us, as he mentioned.
Yeah.
I guess we'll start with him. So the way I met Mark and Joseph actually was we went to play Pokemon Go together.
Wait, I met you at basketball.
Well, yeah, I bet you a basketball. I think that's how we got close. Yeah, we got closer because I remember so what was that?
Well, no,
4
the
years
first
ago?
time I met you, we were at the Union.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I was already with Joe,
And Andrew.
Andrew, and
Was it Ryan or was it Dinius?
he might have been there, but my phone was dying,
Oh, okay.
and I needed a portable.
Oh.
and you had one, right?
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I always had one in my bag,
Yeah.
so I gave it to you. Yeah.
The long anchor.
Mm.
Or the charger. Not a sponsor.
But I don't remember how I met you, Joe.
I feel like it was either because Adrian was the first one to take me to the co-rec. Like he said, meet me at Y, let's go work out.
Was it at the correct?
And you might have tagged along with us working out. It's like, but I do remember that I didn't know you, and people will talk about you like, oh, there's this guy named Mark. He's hella ripped, hella lean. If you guys don't know, Mark is just Mr. Testosterone over here.
Mr. T.
Yeah. So I remember hearing about you, but I don't exactly remember. I feel like it's through the co-rec. Like I went out to work out. You were working out with like Young Sick or Ryan maybe, and we just like met up somehow. But like our first actual hangouts were probably Pokemon.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Definitely.
That's the one I remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything else. Henry.
Well, yeah, for Henry though.
Henry. Yeah.
Henry just showed up one day.
Yeah. My first memory of Henry was I think it was after large group, and we were having the usual gathering at my apartment, and Henry just showed up one time.
Why don't you remember?
And I don't know. I don't remember who you were with. I think it was Toby, maybe. Whose small group were you in?
I was in like Toby and Amy.
Yeah, I think it was a Toby.
I think it was Toby.
Yeah.
I remember. I think I was there.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I might have been there.
I think Toby brought you over.
Oh, really? I don't remember it all though.
Toby's Mark's age, so
Yeah, Mark-
he's in Seattle though.
he's a
So
graduate.
yeah.
I remember because I don't think we've ever actually officially met or hung out during sophomore year, but you were planning to go to Toronto with us.
Oh yeah.
So I was looking forward to that and be like, okay, this is my chance to get to know Henry really well.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
But
like,
then
I know,
it didn't happen.
Yeah, because COVID hit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of COVID. And
Yeah.
everything. And Henry was the first one to be like, I don't think I'm gonna go.
So it's funny. You know Sam, right?
like Sam Sui.
No. Like Sam. What's her last name? She graduated already.
Oh, Kwasniewski.
Yes.
Isn't it
I think
Sam
so.
Kim? Isn't it Sam Kim? Samantha Kim?
No.
Like she was.
What? Like graduated?
Yeah, she graduated already. Her.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know her, right? So yeah, I remember I never actually hung out with Henry, but then I remember I hung out with Sam a lot, and she would just tell me a lot about Henry.
Oh, that's interesting.
Henry's a great guy, trust me. But yeah, it was funny. Like, oh yeah, Henry's interesting, and I'm like, yeah.
I would just say
I can
Henry's
agree,
just
yeah.
that one friend. He's just the wild card to everything.
Yeah, he's always there.
Like you'll never expect him to come out, but he'll be there. And then we'll just have a normal conversation, and he'll be like, "So what's that?" Like, and it'll be the most weird question.
Henry is so funny.
He brings the humor in a lot of conversations.
Also, I never thought he would be on this podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, let me just say, we're planning on just having Mark.
I wasn't expecting to be on
I
here
didn't expect this
either.
either.
And I was pretty much expecting because Mark's staying over, so I was like, I might as well have him on the podcast. But Henry just
Yeah, I was like,
gotta
didn't
go.
ask for this.
Hey man, we're glad to have you anyways.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's appropriate to ask this question to Mark and even Henry, like, because you guys, or Mark graduated already, and Henry's about to graduate like Matt. But maybe talk about a little about, like, you talk about, like, you're getting ready for med school and everything, but how that's been, and like you graduated at a time where it was like COVID, right? So like, how's that transition? Because I know a lot of people who graduated year had a hard time, not only with like just jobs, but like with the COVID situation making it a lot worse. I mean, you didn't really have to work straight out, but you had to prepare for med school and everything, though.
I mean, I feel like graduating from college in any year is always a little challenging because you're going from this life that you've gotten used to over the past 4 years, where you have this constant, fellowship, this constant, group of people that you always have around you,
right.
And then you go from that to really just being out on your own. Essentially, it's just you and your work at that point, and that can be difficult to adjust to, because you really got to go out of your way to find, that new kind of routine and that new routine and that new kind of group of people, and that usually tends to be, I guess, your coworkers at that point, which is it's not the same in terms of the relationships that you're able to form, because your coworkers are mostly just there because you guys have to be.
That's true.
With friends, you're there because you want to be.
Right.
So it's hard, but you get used to it, and it just becomes your new life, really.
What's been like the hardest thing you've had to deal with straight out of Post-Grad, or like maybe you didn't expect it but it was hard, or
I mean,
you were expecting it, it's harder than you expected?
It is just, you do feel it is a little isolating, and especially because like I'm at this point where I'm kind of in between because I'm applying for more school, so there's a lot of uncertainty.
Right.
I would assume if I was going into more of a direct career path, I feel like it would be a little more of a smoother transition, but at this point, since there's still so much out of my control, it's a little stressful.
Yeah, I definitely can't imagine, because I'm not graduating until like at least another year. So,
do you feel like you're like, I think this is something that maybe I struggle with a little bit, but do you feel like you're behind?
In a way, yeah, of course. You do. It's hard not to compare yourself to others, especially other people your own age. But you gotta, everyone's on their own path. So there's really the only person you're really racing against, competing against, is yourself at the end of the day.
Do you have those feelings, Henry? Like you're about to graduate?
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous about graduating.
Yeah, like, because you don't have like clear plans on what you want to do.
Yeah, I don't have like clear plans yet.
Right. So you most likely just gonna go back home after?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Same with me. I think like I don't have a job lined up, but I'm applying.
Right.
I think in a way I didn't realize how, like, the fact that I could literally go anywhere for my occupation, for like my job. I think that's like every job, honestly, but I don't know, for some reason that didn't hit me. That I can literally go across the world, even, or across the United States.
Take the name out of the hat.
And just go there and apply. Like, that is how I get the job. But like, I think there's so many job openings, all the time.
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of overwhelming. Like, I think like instead of like, I used to think like, okay, I'm gonna like spend hours just keep pressing apply, submit. But actually, I spend more time picking the ones that I want because there's so many, and like location and everything. I'm like being more picky, and I'm like, oh, this is so interesting. But yeah, like. Again, like I think I struggle with that like clear plan, and also I feel like I'm behind too, because I think like most people should or already have a job now.
Yeah.
But actually, like that's not true. I think like legit only Cornerstone is like for some reason everyone in Cornerstone just gets a job. Where they're amazing, really studious people, and we just get it done. But then I'm not on that track. So when I heard like I don't have a job, I'm kind of like, oh shoot, like I'm kind of behind. But it's not really. But I just feel that way naturally because you compare. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. What like advice would you give like to like cope with that feeling?
I mean, I've only been out for 1 year.
Yeah, but you had, I feel like with COVID and everything, is it more extreme? Like,
I feel like my advice is still the same: is you just have to be more proactive,
right?
In terms of going out of your way to join, new hobbies and finding
Mhm.
a new church if you're in a new area. It wasn't really an issue for me because I'm still living at home, so I had my home church. But you really just have to be more proactive because it's not like college where
You have
like
to go to
every
class.
other day there's going to be another like hangout at someone's place or even meet new people, and there's not as many things going on around like there would be on a college campus. So
Right.
you kind of just have to take more control over your life.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, because I'm worried like what I'll be doing like with friends, like making new friends is always a challenge, but also like I feel like college is when you go into college it feels really long. Like you feel like 4 years I got all the time in the world to figure out what I want to
Yeah.
do, but then all of a sudden you're like an upperclassman, all of a sudden you're graduating,
Yeah.
and you feel like you haven't done anything.
Mhm.
Like if anything, you just went to class and you just met a group of people that you always hang out with, and that's it. And you fall into the routine and don't realize this is like where your life is taking shape, and you just don't know what you're gonna do. That's pretty frightening.
It's funny because I think we're all smiling because it's especially I think for me and Henry especially it's hitting us, or at least hitting me.
Oh,
yeah,
for
you
sure.
can't believe it's already over.
Because I think like
And now we're already at this point.
We're
where we
like
have
2
to-
weeks away from the end of semester, and you
Yeah.
guys have graduation next month.
I think it's insane because like my teachers were saying like, oh yeah, last week of class basically tomorrow or not tomorrow, next week, and I was like, really?
in your life too.
And in
like,
my life, and the thing is like it's funny because like there's some juniors in my classes, or like some juniors, and like I heard them like talking about like, oh, do you see your schedule? Oh, the schedules came out. Like, oh, did you
Yeah,
get this
they
class?
came out today.
And I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, wow, I don't have to. I haven't emailed my advisor in like a year, you know, like
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter
schedules
to
came out
me.
yesterday for next
Yeah,
semester.
it was like, wow, this hit me. And then like yesterday, they were like, oh, this is our last worship practice of the semester. And I was like, what? Like, it's like, oh, last small group is this Friday. And I'm like, oh, what? Like, I'm
It
like,
hit different.
it really like, I was just like, what? I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, this can't be happening. But then it's like hitting me like, I thought my time here would be forever.
No.
In a way, you know? Like it felt like forever.
Maybe like the first day
Yeah,
of
first,
school,
yeah, like
freshman
it felt
year.
like forever, right? It's like, oh, I got time. You know, I got time. Everything's like, oh, I'll push it back. I got time. Now it's like, well, I don't got no time. So, it's like, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, looking back now, and you've already like graduated, but do you have any regrets from like college? Like, even with Henry and Matt, like you guys are about to leave. Like, is there anything you really wish you would have done? Like, if you could do one more thing or change one thing, or a few things, I guess, what would it be from college, like specific? Got any regrets, Henry?
I have to think about it.
I already said mine, but like, so you guys into the video one that we posted.
Right.
I basically talked about how like I regret switching my major because I ended up just going back to the same major I started with. So that time I lost trying to like take other classes and taking physics 202, even though that was 220, which was like the worst thing in the world. I took that with Mark. Physics 220 with Norbert.
That was a great experience.
I hated that class. I remember there was like, it became like a meme because
You
like
guys played games or like
no, we didn't play
go-to
games,
games.
but I didn't play games. But I remember like I wrote down one thing on my notebook. You
Yeah,
remember that?
I did that too.
I wrote friction, and then the whole page was big, and the class ended. I was like, all right, we're good to go.
You paid for my boba.
I did pay for your yeah, because I got the worst test score. But like I think that was like a mistake because I think like I didn't do as well as I should have done or I could have done in physics, and I think my mindset was bad when I was switching my major, and you know I regret it because I think I lost first of all a lot of GPA, and I think also a lot of time where I could have spent either bettering my grades or bettering my time with stuff. So I regret that.
But you wouldn't have taken physics with Mark though.
Yeah. But I saw him and Sabrina every day, so
Mark
it didn't really
wouldn't
matter.
have gotten boba, man.
No, he would have. It's just been from Sabrina. But
Yeah. Makes sense.
yeah. And another thing, I guess, like, because I actually have to go soon. Because I thought we were supposed to start at 6, but we start at 7.
Hey.
But like, I think one last regret before I did. Like I talked about this, but I think it got avoided. But not joining a frat, I have a little bit regret not doing that. Because I kind of want to experience what it is, but I kind of don't at the same time. But I have a little bit of regret.
It's a very college specific.
Yeah, I have a very little bit of regret not joining a fraternity because then where else can I join a fraternity?
That was your only chance.
Yeah, now I lost it. Yeah, but like, I mean, I guess I
Join
could,
as
I could just like pop in,
as
right?
an
But like,
Turn up.
just a little bit. I don't know. Do you regret?
Not really. I don't really regret not joining.
You don't have any regrets?
Well, I mean, like not joining a frat. Like
Okay.
I think I'm okay with not joining at all.
That's good.
Yeah. I said I don't see myself in a frat. Like, if anything, it would be like a learning community that's like associated with the frat, but that's about it. Like,
That's hardcore, dude.
yeah.
Don't you do essays for that?
Learning communities?
Yeah, don't you do extra
They're just
work?
like clubs. But
Oh,
you can get credit for some of them, depending on what kind of community you join. So
Interesting.
I didn't do it, so don't know. You got any regrets, Mark?
I kind of wish that I planned ahead for my future a little more, especially my freshman, sophomore year.
Like in what
Really?
way?
I really didn't decide to pursue medicine until I would say the second half of sophomore year.
I remember that.
Yeah, and
Oh.
throughout freshman year, beginning of sophomore year, I was really debating between a couple different career paths. But I feel like if I had really sat down and thought about it even before I started college,
Right.
it would have been a much smoother transition and definitely would have been more prepared leaving college. So, I wish I had just invested more in myself at the beginning rather than trying to play catch up later.
Wait, what made you go into medicine?
We don't talk about
That's-
don't talk.
That's a whole question, but
Bye. Bye, man.
See ya.
I mean, that's essentially my entire application, right?
That is true.
But, it was really just kind of getting more involved in the field, through volunteering in hospitals, shadowing doctors, talking with some family
Right.
that are in medicine, and really just learning more about it in
Uh-huh.
terms of what it's like and is it really something that I can see myself doing for the rest of my life, really.
Right.
And then once you finally feel that kind of calling,
Uh-huh.
then everything else kind of falls into place because you kind of have a plan from that point.
Yeah, makes sense. You got any regrets, Henry?
I think for me, like, just one regret was like not doing like CS instead of like engineering.
Right, because you did the whole FYE thing too.
Yeah, I did a lot of engineering things that I'm not really interested in that. So
Did you apply for CS?
yeah,
at
I
all?
applied for engineering.
Oh, you applied for engineering,
Yeah.
right? But you think you should have done CS?
Yeah, it's like a lot less classes and stuff.
You would have been graduated by now if you did CS.
Yeah, if I like took a lot of classes, I could have graduated in like 3 years, I guess.
Yeah, most CS people graduate 3 years or 3 years in a semester. Rarely do you do all four unless you're like just spread out with everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. I wish I had chosen a different major so I could have graduated in 3.
Oh really?
Really?
Yeah.
You don't want to stay here for 4 years?
I would have graduated in 3 if I could.
Huh.
But
I mean, I get the tuition and everything. But I feel like college is like you want to.
No,
You don't want to go for
I
for
wouldn't.
4.
I wouldn't have just dipped. I would have just
Oh, I see.
graduated, but then I probably would have stayed here and just kind of worked. If I
Yeah.
wanted to do research, I could do research here, and then
Makes sense.
get some other position at a hospital here or something.
Yeah.
But that's another thing, a pretty big thing actually that I would have definitely done.
Switch your
Major.
major
yeah.
for a 3-year study.
Yeah.
Which made you do engineering instead of CS?
I just thought it would be interesting, but like it wasn't. And then it just turned out to be a lot more work than I expected.
Right.
And for like my career, like I don't think I would do like actual like engineering work. I would probably just do like software.
Yeah, because you're computer engineering, so you're
Yeah.
already almost there.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets about your like school or anything?
I regret not exploring more. I think I would have maybe landed in mechanical engineering either way, because it just fits me. But I chose engineering really early on, like middle school, when you start thinking about like the high school, like going up into high school, and like, oh, that means I have to get ready for college soon. Like as soon as the earliest you begin to start thinking about what you want to do for life, like
Yeah.
seriously, I already had engineering down
That's
since
good.
then.
Oh, that's good.
I mean, both of my parents are engineers, so I always grew up with an engineering background, I guess. Like my dad would work at home, and I'd see him doing stuff related to engineering, and for me, I thought that was like not only the only way of like working, but that was the only thing I saw really. So I didn't know what other majors or other work looked like. Like I knew of like doctors or lawyers, like the typical big jobs. But like I came to Purdue and I would go around asking people what their majors were. And like 70% of them is like, that's a major? Like I didn't know at all. Like when I met Adrian, like I didn't know kinesiology was a thing, right? I didn't know pharmacy was a thing. I thought pharmacy was just like a branch of being a doctor, you know? Like I was so clueless to like every single other major that I could have explored. And like, you know, like in high school, they do the whole like seminars where you like explore majors to find out what you want to do in college. But every time I just like randomly click on an engineering site and just idly scroll through and not like really try because I had.
So you never had any inclinations to do anything else?
No, not even like, and more weirdly like specifically mechanical. Like I didn't consider EE. I didn't consider civil. Like both my parents were civil, so my dad was like, if don't do civil because he didn't really recommend it. If you were gonna engineering, either do EE, EC, or mechanical, or if the school's good like BME. But like civil, he didn't recommend that well or that much because he works in Korea, and Korea doesn't have a lot of real estate, and all you do is innovate buildings. So you're not out there building a lot of new buildings or doing construction engineering, which civil is based around. So when he was in America, he would, you know, study or do projects like build hospitals, data centers, stuff like that, and improve like buildings to like smart technology for like civil stuff. But in Korea, it's a lot harder. So he's like, maybe it could work in the U.S., but mechanical is much more wider. Like you could do a civil's position as a mechanical engineer if you just specialize in that area, which you can choose later on. So I was just always appealed to the fact that mechanical is very wide in opportunity and diversity. So I was like, mechanical it is, and I never looked back. Like even for all my college apps, I put mechanical engineering. Like I know people change majors here and there to get a better chance of getting into the school, but I straight up put engineering for all of my schools. I didn't look back, and I realized I could have maybe tried a little more to maximize.
But are you happy doing what you're doing?
I am. I only regret because like, what if there's a better major out there that I just haven't seen?
Well,
you know. And I always talk to my parents about it. Like, what if like I came one day and I wanted to change my major? My parents like, sure, but like, is there another major that you're as interested and as passionate for?
Yeah.
Like, if there is, go for it. But if there isn't, then why would you change?
Yeah, you don't need to fix what's not broken, right?
Yeah.
If you're happy and passionate about what you're doing, I don't see any reason why you need to regret not doing more.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say regret my major, but I regret not exploring and giving myself the opportunity to maybe look into other things and see if they worked out. So when you're like a kid, like I always was like, I want to be an archaeologist because I like dinosaurs, or like, I like the ocean, so I wanted to be an ocean marinologist or something like that. I always found biology pretty cool, chemistry was okay, but yeah, engineering was just always a default. But I don't regret as much. I think my major specifically. But like other, like I know college is mainly for school, but like maybe disregarding the academics, is there anything you guys wished you've done in college? Because there's a whole nother side to being on campus. And you guys, Henry, did you live in a dorm?
Yeah, I lived in dorm freshman year.
Right, because you guys both experienced dorm life too,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I've never actually been in.
Oh, really?
Oh, right. You lived
Because
in
I was in
Peeville
Peeville,
first.
which is a apartment complex
Yeah.
for professors, but we had an overflow our year with freshmen, so they pushed us out. So I've never lived in like the communal bathroom and RA like.
And you're not exactly
room.
missing much.
I know, but like I feel like that's also part of the college experience. You know? Like it's not like I regret not being in a dorm, but I feel like I wouldn't have minded for at least a semester to experience it and then move out of it being like, I'm finally out. You know, like you have to go from bad to good to make it better, you know, instead of just going straight to the good.
Where did you live sophomore year?
I lived
Apartment.
Matt's place.
Oh, okay.
That was my place originally.
Oh, yeah.
And then Matt moved in. Yeah.
I don't think you missed that much. It's like you could have still went to like the lobbies and like studied with people.
That's true. I always was at Wiley though.
Yeah, you probably got a good idea of what it was like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to like experience the bathroom still.
You got
Yeah,
to
no.
experience it without all the downsides.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, I sometimes tell myself like maybe I should have been in dorm for at least.
Did you have a choice?
Peeville, no, but actually I was planning to move to Hilltop with Josh Hong and Josh Chang, who were my roommates at the apartment, but we had different housing sign up priorities. Like Josh Huang was way up there, like he was the first, so he booked a triple for us two to sign up afterwards. But for some reason, the way it worked is like he booked it, but someone can still join. So like some random person came in.
Really?
Yeah, and Josh was like, he can't kick him out because it's his choice. But like, the way it works is like, he booked it, and then me and Josh Ching are supposed to hop on. Like we're not supposed to like join the reservation or whatever, but we just hop on because he put the apartment under his name. And usually, you know, if you see someone and you don't want to be with someone else, so you just go for something that's empty. But someone just hopped in. So Josh was like, guys, we just probably have to bail. And then it didn't work out, so we just went off campus.
Oh, okay.
To our
I
place,
see.
yeah.
I see.
Because by that time, it's like most of the, because we were also looking at Hawkins,
Yeah.
and we're not going to Cary or whatever, because Cary's not it. And like any other triple is like not non-existent. It's either quads at Cary or triples at Hilltop. So we're like, yeah, if we're gonna be in a position where us three aren't gonna have a room for next year, might as well look off campus. And that place was being built, so we had first dibs on the new apartment. So even though it was pricey, I think it was okay.
I mean, when I think back on my college experience, you know, my time living in the dorm isn't exactly
Really?
what I look back on as.
really?
You don't look back on the Wiley boys?
Well, no. I'm just saying, like, in any generic dorm.
Oh yeah, true.
I mean, Wiley was different. I didn't live there.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
like, I guess it's not something that I think back on first, you know. So I don't think you need to worry about missing out on that.
Yeah. What about you? Where'd you live?
I live in Tree.
Tree. By yourself, or
Yeah, it was like a double, but we was like a random person though.
was he like? Did you get to know him, or did you guys
Not really.
Oh, you had a random?
Yeah. Did you pick your roommates freshman?
No. Yes, I lived with Dave.
Oh, really?
Dave,
Oh, yeah.
I'd already known for
Yeah.
4 years, so it
Yeah.
wasn't exactly like a true college experience, I guess,
Yeah.
where you're meeting someone completely new.
That's true.
But I mean, you still had the communal bathrooms. I mean,
Yeah.
I lived in honors my freshman year though, so
Okay.
I feel like
You
our
went from
bathrooms.
Honors to Hillenbrand.
I mean, Hillenbrand wasn't even a communal bathroom, so I didn't
Right.
even have Hillenbrand. We had a shared double with 2 other guys on the other side,
Right.
so it wasn't a true communal bathroom.
Uh-huh. Well, okay. I've always wanted to ask Mark this, and Henry, you're also included. Like, when did you? Because when I first heard of you, when I joined Cornerstone, I was like, everyone's first like descriptor of you was like Mark's ripped. Okay.
Why?
Like, dude, look at your body, bro. Like, okay, you're not like
I
bulky, right? You're not like massive, but
I
you're
don't
hella
like- I
lean.
don't
You're
like
hella
that.
cut, bro. And
don't
you're
like that?
strong. Like, even Henry agrees, right?
Well, you don't like that?
No.
Okay,
I don't want
but
that
like-
to be the first thing that people.
But like, okay, like that's not like you're not glaringly like a body person. Like you're not glaringly the one a gym rat per se. Like as some people are like tank tops and like.
What's your question?
But my question is, when did you like start working out, or did you like play
Um,
sport? You played tennis, right? in
I
high
played
school?
tennis in high school.
But like you switched to
Um,
fitness at some point.
I didn't even go to a gym until after like the end of senior year of high school.
Really?
Like I vividly remember the first time I went to an actual gym was with Dave. Actually, it was near the end of senior year of high school,
Right.
and we went to a gym and just did a little bit of everything because I didn't even know what to do at that point.
Right.
Like I never benched, I never squatted, I never lifted a barbell. I had like some dumbbells at home and I did like push-ups and stuff. But up until that point, I really didn't do anything.
But I know you're
So-
like a consistent gym goer now, and you have been for like the past couple of years, and like you have a pretty clean diet too, from like what I can tell. Like, was that like always a habit you had, or did you
I
like
mean-
consciously switch over to like make yourself?
Honestly, until I moved out, my diet consisted of whatever my mom cooked at home, and it wasn't anything special.
Right.
It's just basic Chinese food.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think that it was, anything different than what most Asians eat,
Mhm.
But I guess once I moved out and had a little bit more control of my diet, I guess I did make some changes, but it wasn't. I didn't go crazy with it. You know?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you still ate like kings.
Yeah, I still went out to McDonald's every other weekend when I was here, after large group. I mean, diet's important, but you know, you don't have to count macros.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah. What about you, Henry? Did you play sport in high school?
Oh, I did swimming in high school.
Oh, bet.
Did you also do that?
Yeah, I also swam.
Were you good?
Good is a very subjective term. Okay, like I'm not gonna brag. I was the captain for my junior senior year, but that's not like because of my skill. Like, if you know, like my person, I'm a very outspoken. Like I like to take on leadership roles, and my coach maybe saw that in me and was like, "Would you want to be captain for starting junior year?" So I was never like the top in competitions. Like I'm maybe in top 7 or 8.
That's like pretty good still.
Yeah, but like okay, what did you swim? What was your stroke?
Like freestyle and breaststroke.
Like 100 or 50?
Yeah, I think it was 100.
100. Okay. Yeah, see, I swam breaststroke my freshman year, but I switched over to IM because I'm like not outstandingly good at any stroke, but I'm like decently good at all of them. So I just did the event that had all of them.
Did you do like 200 for that?
Yeah, 200 IM was my go-to event, but never like first place or anything like that. Nothing crazy.
Oh, were you like in varsity too?
Yeah, our school only has varsity swimming,
okay.
so I was varsity starting freshman year. Like I don't know if I talked about this on the podcast, but I was originally a golfer.
Really? I didn't know that either.
You didn't? Oh, I mean, I guess not a lot of people know that about me. Like I'm a big golfer.
I've never seen you golf.
I have golf clubs in that cupboard.
Okay.
Or that closet. I started playing golf I want to say 2nd grade of elementary school. It's because my dad played golf, and he played when he was in college because he didn't like play basketball or anything. He played squash a little bit, but he played golf as his main go-to because he's at Stanford. So Stanford has a really nice golf course and everything. Right? So he picked up golf, and he was decently good at it, and he wanted to play with someone. So when I was old enough to like go on the courses as a player, I picked up golf. I played pretty consistently up until middle school, and before I moved to Korea, I was planning on joining the varsity school at my high school because we would have summer camp or summer programs where we would play on teams for representing different golf clubs or golf courses, and we'll tour the golf courses as a representative for that course. So I joined middle school, and I was playing with some of the high schoolers that was at the high school I was going to go to, and the coach came out one day and he was like, "Yeah, if you come in as a freshman next year, I'll put you on the team. Like, just keep playing over summer, and we'll see you in freshman year." And that's when I moved to Korea. So I had to quit golf because Korea is a whole nother game with golf. It's like really expensive because we don't have land. So going on a golf course is expensive. So I play like screen golf, and even to this day, I play a lot of screen golf when I go to Korea, like almost every other day or almost every day.
That's a lot.
Yeah, because it's like going to a PC room or like a arcade room. It's just a bunch of rooms with screens, and all you need is one golf mat, and you bring your own clubs. So all you need to do is just pay for the service, and you just play in one room.
Have you gone out to Purdue's course?
I
Whatever it's
have.
called? Burke or something?
No, the course is called Campen in Ackerman Allen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've only played on Campen like 3 times. I've never gotten on.
Do you just play like 18 holes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually went with Eddie.
I figured that's who you would go with.
Sophomore year, yeah. And I've been to their golf range a couple times. It's pretty nice, but just how busy I am with school, I haven't been able to play it often. I'm planning to maybe go next week with Eddie. I'm gonna ask him, but yeah. So swimming was always because I was a pretty chunky kid when I was younger.
Swimming's a great sport.
So my mom was like, in order for him to keep up with his weight and like the amount of energy I need to burn, I'll enroll you with swimming. And as a kid, I liked going in the water, so she assumed swimming would be a good fit. When I first started swimming, man, you know, like when you're out of shape, you go in the water, you're just like you're suffocating. But I just stuck with it because my mom would always make a really nice meal afterwards, and I'd always look forward to that after practice. So that's like my motivation, like food. So I swam like twice a week for like an hour,
which is not even that much, but like when you're a kid, that's like pretty big commitment because you just want to stay home and play games. So I did that, and then when I moved to Korea, my parents were like worried because the school I was going to didn't have a golf team. So they're like, what is he going to do for extracurricular? Like, because as a guy, usually sports is a go-to, like, given extracurricular, unless you're in, like, an instrument. But I play guitar, and that's not even, like, part of a band or orchestra. So my parents like, shoot, he doesn't have a sport. And my mom was like, well, you know how to swim. I've never swam competitively at all. But she's like, you know how to swim. And, like, they have a team here. So if you want to start practicing more, like, you can maybe try out. Maybe you won't make varsity freshman year, but you'll make sophomores year if you keep at it. And I didn't like the idea because I was not a big fan of swimming, but I was like, might as well. So she enlisted me for morning swim, which is 6:30 in the morning till 7:30, or 7:30 to 8ish. We get out by 8. Swim an hour and a half before class, wash up, go to class. Then after class, when season started, we'll have another 2-hour practice.
I remember in high school, the swimmers would be, I think they were in the pool at like 5:30 until 7:30, and then they'd start class at like 8 something.
Yeah.
Like they would be finishing up practice when I got to school. Like
you walk into class with like a toast in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, mad respect.
Yeah. And my mom, because I had a younger brother and he went to the same school I did, so she had to make sure she made breakfast for him and wake him up. So she never took me to practice. I would go on public transportation, and from anyone who is from my high school will know, we have a huge hill that goes to the, because Korea is really mountainous, everything's hilly. Our school's on top of a huge hill. So I literally walked like maybe 5 stories worth of height just to get to the school. And then I walk across the whole school to the pool, which is on the other end. And then I have to like get in my suit, stretch, and then swim, shower, and then go to class. I'd be dead tired my first period. So, man, I quit morning swim. Well, I did morning swim all year round, freshman, sophomore year. But junior, senior year, I only did it during off season. It's like in season, we already have after school practice. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do morning and afternoon like I did freshman, sophomore year. But thanks to that, I got a lot better. So that's where I mainly get my fitness from. Now I'm just trying to not be fat. And like military was a good break and a good reset because I was pretty. When it was COVID, I was putting on a lot of weight, and then I went to the military. I cut down a lot, built a lot of muscle, and now I'm here and I haven't worked out in a while. So.
Well, let's talk about the military. Now that you've been out for a few months,
yeah,
do you feel like you have retained any of, I guess,
habits?
I'm sure like in the military they really beat into you, you know, this routine
Yeah.
and you know, discipline and all that. Have you retained any of that?
I've always been a little bit of a routine person. Always been a little bit of a early bird, just out of habit from my parents. So when I went to the military, some people were struggling, but I adjusted pretty quick. As of now, I wish I had the same workout routine I did back in the military because I would run and work out every day, which is very ideal as a guy. Because I was in really good shape by the time I was done with the military. And I continued working out, but I put on a lot of muscle mass outside because you don't want to be heavy while you're in the military. But outside the military, I was like, yeah, screw it. Like, I'm just going to build mass. So I was bulky coming in freshman year. I mean, not first semester here back. But I think the discipline for sure. But the most thing that's probably going to stick with me is the Korean. Like, not only the language, but the culture. And, like, me being as a Korean citizen, I think, stuck with me the most.
Nationalism.
Yeah, the patriotism. Like, I feel more Korean now. Like, even though I'm
that
much
makes
more
sense.
comfortable living here. Like, when I go back to Korea, I can proudly say I'm a Korean. Like, I went to the military as a guy. That's like a check box, a big check box you have to check. And, like, I know how to speak Korean very fluently. I understand the culture. I've lived here for at least 5 years now. So, like, I'm very functional as a Korean, which I'm very proud of because that's like something I could actually use in the future. But I've always thought like I would go to US college, graduate, go to get a job in the US, live my life here, and go to Korea to visit family, you know. But after the military, I'm like considering like I could work in Korea if I wanted to. Or I could work globally as a representative from the U.S. in Korea, or from Korea in the U.S., vice versa. Because there's no real language barrier for me anymore. Just the work culture, I guess, because I've never worked in Korea. And yeah, or like work at a different country, because I'm very used to the international treatment or the international adjustment. Ever since high school, I've always been labeled as an international or as a foreigner, so very comfortable with that kind of label. So I look forward to that, but that's a lot of stress putting on myself. Like going out of college, like I'm always thinking like this will get me something in the U.S., but what if I want to go outside of the U.S.? Like, do I need to do something extra, or do I need to look into internships outside of the U.S. to look international or whatever? Like, so that's just another layer of stress. But out of the military, for sure, I'm feeling more Korean.
Interesting. Is there any like habit you picked up now that you didn't have before you joined the military? Anything that they maybe taught you that you still do, or?
I don't know practically. Like military skills isn't really applicable to a college student, because that's like a different field. I think during the military, I realized how important diet is, like what you eat, because they give you food. Like you have no choice in what you eat there. What you're given, you eat for that day. And I realized like eating a very boring, bland, consistent diet is not what I want. Like I want a variety, but I also got used to the whole I need the basic nutrients, and anything extra is just weight, or it's just extra calories. So I've actually, this semester, I can confidently say, maybe except for the exception of like maybe 5 days, I've had oatmeal for breakfast. Oatmeal with like bananas and blueberries, like as a clean carb plus fruits for vitamins. And like, I think before spring break, I didn't eat beef once. Like, red meat was out of the picture. I had a lot of chicken and fish, which was like, in my head, white meat's more clean.
I think
like for my body. Yeah. Like red meat's good, but I have a big reaction to if I eat a lot of red meat. Like my skin gets really active. But yeah. So I was eating pretty clean because I realized in the military how important diet is, and I think maybe that's an influence. But would you guys, let's say, you guys had mandatory military, would you guys go? Like, would you be able to? Do you think you'd be able to do it?
Yeah, I think I would be okay with it.
Yeah. I mean,
because you guys are what,
hard,
both
but-
U.S. citizens.
yeah.
So if like the U.S. was like all of a sudden going to war and they mandated conscription to military.
Yeah, it would definitely be something that I know I would be dreading, leading up to it. Because, I mean, who wants to, just pick up everything and just leave home for, 18 months?
Yeah.
But I feel like there would be some benefits to it as well.
Oh, for sure.
In terms of making you a better version of yourself.
Yeah. What you had?
Yeah, I think like if it's mandatory, like I would.
Oh yeah, and if it's mandatory,
I mean,
of
if
course,
it's
there's nothing really
yeah,
to do
that's
about
true.
that.
I guess you have no choice, but would you be down? Because I know for Korea, there's some option where like I'm a dual, so I could technically opted out if I really didn't want to go. I was like, yeah, might as well do it. But like, if you had the choice to opt out of a mandatory thing for citizenship, I guess.
I think it would depend. Like it was like if it was like a thing that everybody did, like it just made you like a different person or something.
Right.
I think I would do it. But like if like most people just didn't do it, like I don't think I would like go out of my way to go.
I guess yeah. It's really hard to put someone in my shoes. I guess I always wondered like what other people have experienced, but it's really hard. It's unique, so I can't. Maybe I didn't phrase that properly.
Well, it's hard to imagine when that kind of reality isn't really what
You go through.
you're going through.
Yeah.
It's easy to say that you would want to do it
Yeah.
when you don't have to.
Do you guys have like anything? Because military in a way was like a bucket list item for me, like getting it done. like a checkbox in life. Like I know I have to do it. I'm probably not gonna avoid it. So
Well, you've known about it pretty much your entire
yeah, my
life.
entire life.
right?
So it was like a achievement unlocked in my life. Like I got it done. But do you guys have like bucket list items that you for sure want to do at some point in your life that maybe you currently are or will work on or work towards or do? Like not only military, but another bucket list for me is I want to do like a tour in like Europe, like just travel. I know with COVID it's been hard, but like and eventually end up like at a point where like in is it Greenland or Iceland you can see the Northern Lights.
Oh yeah.
Like I really want to see the Northern Lights in my lifetime, like not in like IMAX, but like in real life.
Where have you like traveled before?
I've traveled a bit before high school. But once I came to Korea, I didn't have much chance. I went to the Philippines a couple times and Malaysia once, and I traveled for swimming because we competed in China, in Hong Kong. But that's about
pretty
it.
impressive.
Yeah, but never like leisurely traveled for recreation and sightseeing.
So we're doing vacation bucket list.
Or any bucket list, I guess, that you have. Because now that you're out of college, you have technically all the time you want, as long as you can afford it. Unless you're contracted by a job, you can do what you want. This is the rare opportunity.
Well, I have a vacation bucket list.
Yeah.
I want to go to all 4 of the Grand Slams.
Oh, okay.
Those are in tennis.
Yeah.
Tennis, there are 4
The Opens.
tournaments which are called Grand Slams. Yeah,
Right.
the Open. Wimbledon, French Open, Australia, US, and
Right.
they're in New York, Paris, London, and Melbourne.
Have you been to a?
I have
tennis
not been
match?
to any of them
Okay.
at this point, but I want to go to all 4 of them at some point. So
Nice.
go to Paris, go to London, and go to Australia.
Would you be down to go by yourself? Would you want to go with someone?
I mean, if it came down to it, if I had the time and no one else did, I would go by myself.
Nice. That's a good
I think I really like traveling, like going to like different countries. I think my bucket list, like I want to go to Antarctica. I don't know why.
one.
Gonna chill with some penguins.
Yeah.
I can
Was
see
a-
that. I can see you out down there. Yeah.
Out there.
Out of all the places, I would not have expected you to say Antarctica.
It sounds like a fake place. Like I want to visit.
So you want to prove to yourself that Antarctica is real?
The world is
Yeah.
flat, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm just really into like novelty and like weird places.
Like some people might have gone, but no one's been to Antarctica like commercially.
They have like tours though.
They do, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Where's your bucket list?
I mean, like Europe has always been a bucket list. I've always wanted to go to the 7 wonders of the world. Like I know that's a very classic vacation bucket list, but I've been to the one in Chichen Itza in Mexico.
Oh, like
The
chicken
Mayan.
pizza.
What are the other ones?
There's Petra, which is the palace in Jordan, like the desert palace.
Okay.
There's the Great Wall of China,
Okay.
which is the easy one. I should be able
Oh,
to.
have you
I haven't
not
been.
been there before?
No, I haven't.
No, but you've been to China though.
I have been to China, but those are for like school trips.
Oh,
They're
Great
not like
Wall's kind of out of
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
out
the
there.
way.
I honestly don't know the rest. There's 4 more. I'm pretty sure there's one in South America that I'm forgetting.
Is Stonehenge one?
Maybe. But you
I
know,
don't
like those National Geographic cover photos of like biggest historical places where like everyone knows what it is if you look at a picture, but it takes one to actually go there. Those are the places I want to go to. Like have all the major landmarks and geographical locations down in experience and in memory. Preferably before I get too old to travel and I have like all family to take care of and I can't go by myself or with a couple friends. But my dad's also had a big dream about like going on tour for golf, like playing in Europe, playing in California, Pebble Beach, going around and playing golf. But we'll see if that happens.
Well, you want to go to golf tour too?
I'd be down. Golf is like one of those sports where you can enjoy the location as well as enjoy the sport. Okay, because if you're like going around the world to play basketball, like it's just a court.
Golf is usually always somewhere that's scenic.
Yeah.
Right.
So like you get 2 out of 1 experience. You get to enjoy the area, but also enjoy the sport, like playing the sport, I guess. So that's what I like about golf. It's just a big, chill, social sport more than a competitive sport. I mean, you can make it competitive, but it's very, very social oriented as well. Yeah. But other than travel, you guys have any other bucket list stuff?
I guess things to do, or like,
Yeah, just things you want to do in life.
I'm not sure if you have anything.
Are you guys like big on getting married? Because I know you guys are both single, right?
Yes.
So
Thank you for that.
big single guys.
I mean, yeah, it is something I want to do.
Would you say it's harder now because you're out of college?
Definitely.
Yeah.
But no rush,
Yeah.
right? You can't force.
That's true.
these
That is
things.
very true, man.
Yeah.
Relationship is at your own pace, which when you can do it and when it comes, I guess. What about you, Henry? Want to get married?
Yeah, probably eventually.
Are you sad that you couldn't really date that much in college?
You have to put it like that.
I mean, like, I've never. Have you dated in college? Like, I've never asked you this.
No.
No. Sucks. I don't know what to say. Is that something you are worried about or look forward to when you graduate?
Yeah, I think I would want to date someone.
Nice. All the ladies out there, Henry's available. Mark is also available. So
Are you available?
I'm also available, but I'm still in school, so I can't. I'm limited to Purdue
Oh, yeah.
at the moment, which is not a bad thing. But well, you guys have the experience of outside of Purdue now, because you're going back to Cali too, right?
Yeah, I'm going back to California.
You have friends back there.
Yeah, I know a lot of people in California.
Nice. There's a lot of Cornerstone people there too.
Oh, they're all in like NorCal though.
I feel like there's quite a bit from Bay Area too.
Well, Bay Area is NorCal.
Oh, is it? I just don't know what Cal. Are you not from NorCal?
Yeah, I'm from like Southern.
Oh, I see. Makes sense. Well, I guess we usually end the podcast with a really random question.
Okay, what's your random question?
I've yet to think of a random
Oh,
question.
really?
Let me think of one right now. Or if you guys have like a random. Some of the questions we've had were like, if you were to have a TV show, what kind of TV show would you have? If you were a Marvel character, what Marvel character would you be? What is the best, in your opinion, the best juice?
Best juice?
We've had like, what was your nickname growing up?
Have you done the ones like if you could be any pasta shape, what?
Oh, let's do that then.
Any pasta shape?
If you could be any pasta shape, what
Yeah.
pasta shape would you be?
Yeah, that's the question.
Have you thought about this before?
I heard someone else ask it, but I haven't thought about my answer.
Pasta shape.
The spaghetti count?
Yeah, like it's like
Anything that's
like fettuccine or like spaghetti or like
anything that is Italian, I guess.
yeah,
Italian pasta,
or like lasagna.
lasagna.
Yeah,
Pasta shape. There's
Some
some
Rotini's a good.
the squid, the
the
swirly one.
squiggly one. Cause Rotini's good because all those squiggles hold the sauce.
Hold the sauce.
Yeah, especially for chunky sauces.
Mm.
That it gets all up in there.
That's why
and
you have
then-
bread on the side, though, no?
Well, I mean, it helps.
Right. Rotini.
It increases the surface
Are you
area.
saying you would be rotini?
I wouldn't mind being a rotini.
You hold all the sauce.
Yeah, I get lost in the sauce. Yeah.
What about you, Henry?
I think I would like fettuccine, like the thick spaghetti one. Is that one?
Is fettuccine like
Fettuccine is the long,
yeah,
flat
the
one.
long, yeah,
flat
like the
ones?
thick, long flat one. I like those.
why fettuccine?
It tastes good. I don't know.
But the
Wait,
pasta
that's
itself
that's
tastes
just pasta. Like,
Yeah.
like
You mean
what kind of
fettuccine
sauce would you
Alfredo?
eat?
I mean, I like the shape of the pasta, I guess.
Just a flat long
Yeah.
noodle.
Okay, maybe. Okay, Mark, what sauce would you be with rotini?
I mean, rotini is good with the meat sauces.
Oh, so
you know.
you hold in that meat
Yeah,
sauce.
because, especially with the ground beef.
Oh, the ground
you know,
beef
the
meat
ground
sauce.
beef gets all caught up in the rotini, and then
You like your beef coffee?
You like your beef cut up in your...
it's the most efficient way to eat it.
Okay. What about you, Henry? What kind of sauce with that fettuccine?
I haven't really thought about it. I like a cheese sauce or something like that.
Cheese? Like
like-
pesto?
Pesto's not cheese.
Pesto has cheese in it.
But pesto's,
Basil?
yeah. Every pasta
Like
has
not-
cheese on it.
Yeah, like, that's very big. Henry. Like nacho cheese?
Like,
Do you put nacho cheese on your pasta?
Straight up nacho. Or mac and cheese? Is that
like
what you think?
Alfredo? Is that the one?
Alfredo
Alfredo
is
is
a
a
cream sauce.
Yeah, just something like that.
Oh. Alfredo, what kind of protein?
Chicken. You gotta go with
chicken
grilled
Alfredo.
You gotta go with chicken. What's your pasta
My
shape?
pasta? Dude, that's hard, man. I just had routine. I have routine literally in my fridge.
Oh really?
But when I was a kid, I've always been a fan of the shells.
Oh, those are
Yeah,
I like those. Those
I
are
like
nice.
shells because, especially with like mac and cheese, I'm a big. I don't like macaroni because I feel like macaroni is too small. Like when you
Oh,
bite
yeah.
into it, there's not enough to chew on.
You
The
want
shells are thicker.
It kind of turns into like a gusher.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
that
it's
sounds
and it's like capped off with like cheese. So sometimes you hit like a really sharp cheese like note when you're chewing. Dude, that's my jam. I don't know what those are called. What the shells are called?
Shells, right?
Shell.
Are they just shells?
I
Like
think
pasta
there's like
shells?
a name, but I don't know what it's called.
There's probably an Italian name for it. No, I don't know.
What's your favorite thing to add to mac and cheese? To
Mac and
spice it up?
cheese, spice it up. Man, I usually eat mac and cheese with chicken thighs, like just grilled chicken thighs, because it's like juicy, and mac and cheese can be bland and sometimes dry if you like overcook it. So I usually do that, but to spice it up, I don't know. I haven't really spiced up mac and cheese in a while. Like, do you guys do something
what
to
I
your mac
used
and
to do?
cheese?
What I used to do? Windsor dining courts. I don't know if you remember, but they would serve mac and cheese with chicken tenders, and then, I was talking about this with Ryan, and what we would do is we take the mac and cheese, throw some chicken tenders on top of it, and then put buffalo sauce over it. So you got like a buffalo chicken mac.
Dang,
It was
like that sounds good.
so good,
That sounds really good.
Dang.
so good.
What about you, Henry? Do you spice up your mac and cheese?
I don't really eat mac and cheese that often, so I don't know.
What's like your go-to mac and cheese recipe? Like, do you do crafts?
I don't make it.
Oh, you just
Oh,
spice it up with
yeah.
what's there.
Yeah.
I see.
It's not something that I would make myself.
Right.
But, at the dining courts, I would smash some mac and cheese.
Yeah, I would get a
Whatever.
dining point, but I don't think I would make myself for like a meal.
Oh. I just activated my Siri and it looked up buffalo chicken mac and cheese.
Is it a recipe?
No, it looked up maps. There's Arnie's Pizza Restaurant 3 kilometers away.
Oh, I'm down.
B-dubs. Well, okay, so Mark, you're rotini. Henry's going to be fettuccine, and I'm pasta shells. Pasta shells. We got meat sauce, Alfredo sauce, and cheese sauce. Mac and cheese. Well, I think we can wrap up there for today. Thanks for you guys for coming out. I mean, I feel like both of you guys really didn't have a choice.
And that was fun though.
Yeah, it was fun. This is
If
kind
you-
of just like Joe though. It's not SUJOBAE.
Yeah, it ended up just being me, but we try to push out content either way. If you guys listen this far, thanks for listening. Make sure you give us a like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, and if you're on Spotify. If you haven't rated us yet, please give us a good rating, and we'll see you in the next episode. See you later.